how can we create an in-game calendar and event system for our video games? Hello, howdy, and good day, my fellow gamers and game devs. My name is Ricky, and I'm a first-time indie game dev working on my very first game, Cosmic Renegade. Welcome to Devlog number 7. In my last devlog, I built a simple economy system for my game. Check that out after you watch this one. But if you recall, I was on Reddit, and a user pointed out, wasn't creating an economy system for my game just another form of feature creep? And I've got to be honest, this one sent me into a deep think. It actually kept me up at night. I didn't really want any more feature creep, but it's honestly really hard to tell what is feature creep and what isn't feature creep right now at this stage of my game. But I do think I got this one right this time. So this is what I replied. While I agree that a full-blown economic simulation is completely overkill, I still wanted my players to be smart in their choices, to be efficient with resources, and overall be able to adapt to a changing economy. The fun of my game, I think, stems from the player's decision making, and a huge part of that decision making is long-term planning. So with that being said, how can I encourage players to adapt in a way that isn't forced on them like last minute? How do I get them to plan ahead and make good choices? Some of the great indie games I've played in the past that require some form of forward thinking are Stardew Valley and Dave the Diver. In Stardew, the player knows when events like NPC birthdays will happen in advance, so that they can figure out how they should be spending time each day leading up to it. In Dave the Diver, on the other hand, it's a little bit more reactive. As the story progresses, you kind of become aware of things that are happening. So for example, the next morning you might discover that, a VIP is visiting in 3 days. Or there would be like some kind of seasonal event that we learned about that's happening next week. In both cases, the player is given something to prepare for, but many of the choices for how exactly to prepare for it are left completely up to the player. In this way, in-game calendar systems make your game feel non-linear, since they incentivize the player towards making forward progress in their own unique way. I think this is going to be a cornerstone of my game. If you recall, the game loop I wanted to focus on was the cargo trading loop, which I simplified into buying exports and selling imports for profit, and the whole goal was to make a bunch of money. But making money for no reason was pretty boring, so we needed something that money could go towards. I know, what about paying bills? See, in my world, your starship is not just your starship, but it is also your home, and the only way to afford such a home is with a mortgage with a very high interest rate. Shout out to 2023. This gives the player something to look forward to, or to plan for. The player must pay their mortgage by the end of the month or receive a game over. And since a starship is both a home and a business, the player also has to pay their crewmates every 2 weeks. Traveling to any planet costs 1 fuel and takes 1 day, so players are gonna have to figure out the best path to make enough money to make each of these milestones. Along the way, they will discover events and opportunities that could help them. For example, several events in the galaxy increase or decrease commodity prices for certain planets. There can also be special events, like the Lo-Fi Festival on Isla de Lo-Fi, where the player can prepare to sell several goods for high profits. Now, I don't really want to reveal too much else because I'm saving the rest of it for the first demo of my game, which will probably be this, but with, a few more twists and turns. Do you have what it takes to make your mortgage by the end of month 1? We'll see. If you're interested in trying it, I'd really appreciate the feedback. Be sure to sign up for the free demo using my Google form link in the description. Basically, anybody on that list will get a very simple but playable version of my game at some undisclosed time in the future. With that being said, let's get coding. So the first thing that I got done was creating a galactic exchange that held all of the information for each of the commodities. And then after that, I added some cargo space, and then I also separated out the inventory space from the main player trader script. After that, I got started working on the calendar system, created some events, specifically a price decrease and increase event. But of course, I didn't have any UI, so I decided to create some text-based one, and then I added a trade book, which basically shows what the commodity prices are for each planet. I also started building a calendar UI, making sure that there were 4 rows, 7 columns, 28 days total. I also added the payment events for the crew payments, and then the hidden events that could be random. Okay, so we are back in Unity. I completely forgot to record the finishing touches that I did for the calendar system, but that's okay because I'm going to show that to you right now. We are back on Troutopia, as you can see here. Just for reference, if you haven't seen the last video, I drew this as kind of like our placeholder user interface. We're starting in Troutopia again. We started with 100 coins. I already spent that. If I hit I to check my inventory, you can see that I spent it on fuel and then also on some water. The neat thing that I added right now is that we actually do have a calendar UI, and you can access it by pressing C. This is the calendar. So it looks like we are starting on Sunday, and we are trying to make enough money, just 100 coins, to pay the crew by Friday. We'll see if we can make some profit from that. So now that I have water, I have fuel, I'm going to go to Isla de Lo-Fi because I know that they are importing water. By the way, to check if they are importing water, let me just clear this console out. You can see here on the galaxy map to the right, you can see that I'm toggling the planet that I have selected that I might potentially travel to. I implemented something called the trade book, which shows you exactly what the prices are going to be at that planet at the given time. So for Isla de Lo-Fi, I'm just going to hit T for trade book, and it shows us that, oh, look at that. Water is worth 12 here. Now, I can look at the planet, the current planet that I'm on, right? And I can Troutopia, and I can hit T also to get Troutopia's trade book. And look at that. Troutopia is selling water for 8 coins. So that means if we buy water from Troutopia and we go to Isla de Lo-Fi to sell it off, we should have a little profit. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. Let me change the planet. I have fuel. We're good to go. I'm going to hit enter to travel. Boom. A couple of things have happened. We are now in Isla de Lo-Fi. So let me update that here. We are here now in the coffee cultural center of the galaxy. We have just gone here and we are ready to sell our water, but something came up on our calendar, right? It says, oh, there is a festival in 3 days' time. And while that is going on, water imports in Isla de Lo-Fi are plus 10%. So that's going to be on top of the on top of the import plus 20%. So total should be plus 30%. So if I hit the trade book again, let's check the Isla de Lo-Fi trade book. We can see that water is actually worth 13. Remember in our before when we checked what the trade book was going to be back on Troutopia yesterday, on Sunday, we saw that water was going to be worth 12. But here it's worth 13 because of the upcoming festival in 3 days. So that means we should make an even bigger profit than we had planned for. So let's just sell all of our water. And now we have 130 coins right there. I am going to just sit on this planet for 1 to 3 days. Okay? I'm going to hit enter 3 times. Yes, we can skip time now. I'm going to hit enter 3 times. Yep. Yep. And yep. So, we have the Lo-Fi Festival. The water prices return to normal. So let me clear this out. And we're going to check the trade book for Isla de Lo-Fi. You can see that water prices are back down to 12. Wonderful. But we can see that tomorrow we have to pay our... We're going to skip time and we're going to pay our crew like a good captain. The crew was paid 100 coins. And you can see that here we are left with 30 coins remaining after the crew was paid. So that's basically going to be the demo. As you can see, I'm at a point where I can design a lot of the story and create a lot of interesting interactions for the player to deal with through the calendar event system that I developed. But is this fun yet? Yes, I can confidently say it's very fun. But is this fun enough to where I should start building some basic UI? Or should I spend more time building other systems that I wanted to include in the game? I mean, wasn't this supposed to be a D&D inspired space western? Where is the combat? Where are the social encounters? The stats and ability scores? The upgrades and modifications to your ship? What if my game is already fun without any of that? Will adding more just bloat up my game too much? But if I don't add more, will I still be staying true to the genre? What the heck am I gonna do? Find out next time on the Cosmic Renegade Devlog. For now, see you in space, cowboys. I feel like I have the opposite problem of many indie game developers where I'm really great at programming but awful, just awful at art and user interfaces. It's always the art that takes me the longest time, so I've been kind of staying away from it. Regardless, I think it's going to be really important for me at this stage to start pushing out playable versions of my game as soon as I can. Even if there's no art or animations, just very minimal UI similar to what I showed in the demo. Just enough for someone to understand what the heck is going on and, how to play. I honestly don't know the best way to do this. I think I'm just going to set up some kind of Dropbox or, just send the downloadable via email from my waitlist. I'm really gonna need your help in playtesting. So, also, if any of you know like a good way or a platform, maybe like a Reddit page or like a Discord server, where I'm free to post my, low fidelity demo, please let me know. I am at the bottom of the barrel of ideas, so to speak. Anyway, see ya.